Hello everyone, my name is Sahar Nisar Yusuf and my documentary is about Russia's natural resources and its role in Russian geopolitical strategy. Russia's political history, including the fall of the Soviet Union, explains why Russia feels the need to establish itself as a powerful entity and demonstrate its power as it views its neighbors as threats. Russia's military invasions in Ukraine and Chechnya and its annexation of Crimea are examples of that defensive mentality. However, in the past few years, the world has witnessed Russia increasingly investing in economic ventures in order to sustain its political goals, and Russia's natural resources play a central role in that strategy. Russia is a key player in the world trade. This is because it is the third largest oil producer and second largest oil exporter in the world. It is the second largest natural gas producer and largest exporter in the world. And lastly, it is the 16th largest export economy in the world. Russia is among the world's leading producers of oil, extracting about one-fifth of the global total. It is also responsible for more than one-fourth of the world's total natural gas output. The great bulk of oil and natural gas comes from the huge fields that underlie the northern part of West Siberia region. Another significant source of resource is the Volga-Ural zone. Besides oil and natural gas, Russia also has coal reserves which are particularly extensive. The biggest fields lie in the remote basins of East Siberia and the Far East, but these are largely untapped, and the bulk of output comes from more southern fields along Trans-Siberian Railroad. Russia exports most of its resources. In 2016, Russia exported $282 billion worth of resources. Exports are led by crude petroleum at 26.1% of the total exports of Russia, refined petroleum at 16%, followed by unspecified also at 16%. The top export destinations for Russia are the Netherlands, with an export value of $29.3 billion, followed by China at $28 billion, Germany at $21.3 billion, Belarus at $14.1 billion, and Turkey at $13.7 billion. In order to take this analysis one step further and truly understand how Russia is using its resources to implement its geopolitical strategy, we're going to turn our attention to China. It is rare to ever hear a conversation or a news report about the world economy and politics without the mention of China. China is a superpower of the East. As China is gaining more influence and power in the world, Russia is aligning its economic ventures with China, and that geopolitical strategy can be greatly beneficial in the long run. Here is a video which will further explain this joint venture and its mutual benefit for both countries.
Involving this massive gas project, Russia will start supplying natural gas through the so-called Power of Siberia pipeline by the end of 2019. It's part of a $400 billion deal that's taken more than a decade to finalize. Construction began in 2014, and by the time it's complete, the 4,000-kilometer pipeline will deliver gas from Russia's Irkutsk and Yakutia regions to the Chinese border and on to terminals in the Sea of Japan for delivery to other Asian countries. The two sides have said they plan to work closely to defuse tensions on the Korean peninsula, and as they forge closer economic ties, their combined strength could mark a significant shift in global power towards the east.
After watching this video, it is evident that the ESPO pipeline is going to be greatly beneficial for Russia, as it is a huge source of revenue. It could also hurt US and Canada liquefied natural gas export opportunities for the critical higher-priced Asian markets. Furthermore, it is a step towards the East becoming an equal power force against the West. This pipeline serves as a response to the sanctions that were placed on Russia by the EU and the United States for its annexation of Crimea and its sponsorship of warfare in eastern Ukraine. This way, Russia is finding an alternate source of income for its natural resources. China and Russia, through this economic venture, can align their political goals and achieve them by combining their forces. Due to the concerns about global warming, major economies are trying their best to switch to renewable sources of energy. However, even with their best efforts, Russia's oil and natural gas is still going to be needed. Over 80% of the world's population resides in undeveloped nations, and the hydrocarbons will remain the key energy sources for decades to come. Therefore, even by 2040, 43% of the world's energy will come from oil and natural gas, which Russia is abundant in. Therefore, it is safe to say that Russia's future is secure in terms of exporting its resources in order to build its economic income. However, it'll be interesting to note what Russia does with its natural resources to become a global power and establish itself in the world economy. Thank you.